This is the one that makes it all worth it. Welcome, one and all, to Let's Play Ace Combat 04 Shattered Skies. Ace Combat 04 is the fourth game in the Ace Combat franchise in terms of release order, and the first one on the PlayStation 2. This is also the first game in the so-called Golden Trilogy, which also consists of Ace Combat 5, which we are going to be looking at up next, and Ace Combat 0, which we started this project with. So this was the first really big Ace Combat game, the one that brought the series to popular attention, and it most certainly was my first Ace Combat as well. So this is going to be the one that is probably the nearest and dearest to my heart of all the Ace Combat games we are going to be looking at over the course of this franchise LP. And I say that in terms of a flaws and all perspective because, good God, there are some flaws that we need to be addressing in this game. But anyways, we will get to them in due time. We're just looking through a couple of settings here. Just all standard stuff we're not really going to be changing. And with that, we are going to start a brand new game, and we are once again going to be playing on normal difficulty. So with that out of the way, we are going to let the opening movie play, and I will see everyone in a couple of minutes once we get to gameplay.
I was just a child when the stars fell from the skies, but I remember how they built a cannon to destroy them, and in turn how that cannon brought war upon us. War was an abstract idea, nothing more than a show on TV. As a child, I only saw it as something that happened in some faraway land. Until that final day of summer. One day while on my way to school, I looked up in the skies. A sound like distant thunder. In the blue skies far above me, contrails drew dizzying circles around in a crazy waltz. A battle in the beautiful skies far away. I could not tear my gaze away from them. A deafening roar. Silhouettes appeared, as if to graze the hills and streak past me. The fighters played the cat or the mouse in turn as they climbed swiftly into the sky. One fleeing plane fell out of the skies, spiraling and spewing orange flames to crash by the Cape. The same Cape where my family lived. Now they only live in my memories of days past. The victor circled around to confirm the kill. And on his craft, there was a large number 13 emblazoned in yellow. I will never forget this. The Allies retreated across the ocean before the onslaught of the enemy. Our little town in the heart of the mainland fell into deep isolation.
After the planetfall of the Ulysses 1994 XF-04 asteroids. Stonehenge, the Erusian weapon of mass destruction, was originally built to shoot down asteroids. Upon discovering its potential as an anti-aircraft weapon, the Erusians ruled the skies over the mainland. The ISAF's attempts to destroy Stonehenge through airstrikes failed. As a result, strategic positions on the mainland were lost. This in turn forced ISAF to evacuate from the east coast to North Point. ISAF GHQ is regrouping its remaining combat forces at North Point. However, the Erusians control most parts of the mainland, and they have forward-deployed bombers to Wrigley Air Base, a former ISAF facility. This bomber force will attempt to deal a lethal blow to the ISAF at North Point from this strategic position. Here is the current sitrep and your orders for deployment, effective immediately. Enemy agents destroyed our early warning radar network, allowing several bear bombers to penetrate our airspace. In 15 minutes, we expect this bomber formation to strike Allen Ford Air Base and then move on to targets at North Point. Our air defense forces are extremely weak at this point in time, hence our GHQ is a sitting duck. It is mission critical that you destroy the bombers and neutralize the threat before they get past Newfield Island. Remember, you are the first line of defense for North Point, and the fate of ISAF lies in your hands.
Well, this seems awfully familiar, doesn't it? So once again, we've got another Ace Combat staple for our first mission, and that is running down a flight of bombers that is threatening to destroy our allied airbase. And you'll have to forgive me, I'm just screwing around with the zoom-in options on the map here, because there's only one point of interest, really, that it can zoom into. And it took me a little while to get back into that, coming back into the from Ace Combat 2. And oh no, not you again. Well, luckily enough, we are not going to be using the Tiger for this mission, because we have already got pretty much a decent plane to start off with, but, you know, it is the F4E Phantom 2. So the Phantom is our default plane for Ace Combat 04. This is the first plane that we get access to, and really because we don't have any money at the start of the game, it's the only plane we really can field at this point. You can see it's done up there in the ISAF Navy library, because it's Mobius 1 is actually supposedly a naval pilot. And we can prove that right here with this introductory cutscene.
Mobius 1, you are cleared for takeoff. Mobius 1, take off immediately to clear the flight line.
So the interesting thing about this cutscene is it only plays if you take the Phantom out for this mission. If you go replay this mission in free flight mode and pick any other plane, this cutscene will not play. So that's a neat little detail about that.
AWACS here, call sign Sky Eye. Do you read? Your call sign is Mobius 1. We'll refer to you by this name at all times. You are now under my command. 6 bombers on Vector 360 confirmed. Continue north to intercept. Today's my birthday. A victory sure would be nice.
So, like the AWACS Sky Eye helpfully points out, we are assuming the role of Mobius 1 for this game.
Engage.
And here's something right off the bat that is very, very interesting. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the first instance of actual propeller planes showing up in an Ace Combat game in terms of release order. The bombers that we are going to be running down for this mission are the Tupolev Tu-95 Bear bombers. And these ones are driven by, as you can see in the zoom in, as we get close to it, 4 sets of contra-rotating propellers. For the longest time, this was more or less the Russian equivalent to the B-52 Stratofortress in terms of long-range strike bombers and potentially nuclear-capable strike bombers. These are the ones that NATO and particularly the Canadian Air Force are always tending to having to intercept over the Arctic Circle and turn back as they push out of Russian territory and into like NATO-controlled territory. And
over city airspace.
Luckily, we don't have that much opposition going at us right now, just a couple of MiG-21 flying trash cans, which is really nice because you really can't tell just the way that it's playing right now, but at the start of the game, Ace Combat 04 controls really, really stiffly. Like, it improves as you unlock better planes, but that was definitely a trip coming in, like, especially coming in from Zero, where, like, I believe, like, Zero is pretty much Ace Combat gameplay perfected, whereas Ace Combat 2 is, or Ace Combat 04, I should say, is still a work in progress.
Mobius 1, Fox 2, target.
And as you saw down there a moment ago, we have our first instance of just how much of a changed version of Strange Rail we're encountering here with that big giant asteroid crater right there in the middle of the map. So this game takes place, as the introductory cutscene says, post impact of the Ulysses 1994 XF04 asteroid. So we're going to be seeing quite a bit of the damage that Ulysses has done to Strangereel, or at the very least what it's done to Uzia over the course of this game.
Good job, Mobius 1.
Sky Eye, this is Alan Fort. Got visual on the downed bombers. Whose kill was that? Make sure to thank him.
Mine, motherfucker!
Roundup. Let's go on home.
Thanks to your efforts, the enemy bomber strike was averted. However, our victory will be meaningless should you fail the next mission.
And there we go, that is Mission 1 done and done, and we are well and truly on our way. So strap in, folks, we're just getting started, and welcome to Let's Play Ace Combat 04.
The war seemed to unfold in the blink of an eye. I don't remember exactly when the forces from the west occupied my town. I was too busy scanning the skies day after day, waiting for Yellow 13 to reappear. Before I knew it, everything changed. The language they taught us at school. Our friendly local sheriff disappeared and was replaced by foreign MPs. In the beginning, some people secretly tuned into broadcasts from North Point on their parabolic antennas. But as time passed, the broadcast no longer came in. Maybe the satellites were destroyed. All non-military computer networks were shut down. Gasoline was rationed to civilians. Though we lived in the 21st century, we were reduced to using crystal radios and horse-drawn carts. I moved in with my uncle in town, who used to be a taxi driver. Out of gasoline and out of work, my uncle did nothing but to drown himself in drink. I earned my keep by playing the harmonica in the town bar, the one thing I was good at. I'd play for sullen occupation soldiers in exchange for their charity and loose change, and used the money to support my uncle and myself. My uncle trash-talked the barkeep who catered to the enemy soldiers, but he never refused the money I brought home. As for myself, I had a crush on the barkeep's only daughter, who was a little older than me. Another day passed, yet still no sign of the fighter plane Yellow 13 in the skies above our town.